WWE. I was booked from Goldberg and Vince McMahon, and I jumped over the barricade. I told Vince McMahon I had personal beef with Kobe Lopez. Vince McMahon did not tell Kobe I was going to be there. And the personal beef is between me and Kobe, and he knows what he done. So as related to the tribal chief and the tribal chief's cousin, Warriors 452, on Instagram, I did what I had to do. I made my family proud because we are the ones. And WWE officials, I appreciate you for taking me on, Kobe Lopez, because you know what was about to happen. I did it for Rakic. I did it for The Rock. Worldwide, because I'm an upcoming WWE super.
T.A.G.
Reason why I am giving this whole Elisah Spencer thing time. And I know within the community, a lot of people are saying, don't give this time, don't give him any attention because that's what he wants. I agree. I think that is what he wants. I think he does want this attention. But here's the issue with that whole situation. And it's the main fact that I think we need to shed light on this, because I don't think we need to sweep this under the rug, because here's the problem. Regardless of what the fans do, some of us will say, no, don't do it. I mean, especially when we talk about the fan that came out in AEW that Jericho had the altercation with. This tends to happen a lot. And the problem is that we tend to sweep a lot of it under the rug instead of actually talking about it. Because at the end of the day, this is an issue that's going to continue. And the problem is like, this is one of the main reasons why a lot of people tend to cringe before they say, yo, I'm a professional wrestling fan, or I like to watch professional wrestling. Because people look at, they look at professional wrestling fans the same way that people used to look at gamers. They thought they were all basement dwellers, overweight, sweaty, the type of person that you would see as a stereotypical like nerd, or just guy that doesn't get the girl, or females that don't get the guy. Regardless of the fact, we're all not like that. There's a lot of us who are very much normal. And that brings me to this point with Elisah Spencer, 24 years old. And the delusion that this person has is very much apparent. Because in that video that you just saw, the one that he uploaded himself, I'm assuming that was him right out of leaving jail. Because I'm pretty sure it wasn't that serious of a crime to where he's going to be booked like that. You can pretty much spend the night, get out, and then you have your ticket, and then you have to go back to court and all this other stuff. So my thing is, this person needs help. And there are a lot of other fans who are in this same position, who pretty much have that delusion, who want to live out the fantasy of being a professional wrestler. They see everything in that. They see it's not the typical sport, football, basketball, tennis, whatever the case may be, that a lot of people have to go through a number of things to get there. This is entertainment in its purest form. And of course, this is a very physical sport in itself as well. But when you think about the entertainment aspect, it makes it a bit easier to get into this realm. So the problem is that there's so many of these fans who want to see themselves in that same position, but they don't want to do the work to become a professional wrestler. It's easier to imagine and do some outlandish shit to get themselves noticed and get themselves on TV in just a highlight moment for themselves. That way they can go back and live that moment over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. That's a problem. And when we showcase, when we shed light on that and glorify it, that becomes an issue. And I think that's why a lot of people are so afraid to kind of touch on this situation, because they don't want to they don't want to have the misconception of them glorifying it. I'm not doing that. I'm saying that this person, anybody that thinks like this, needs help. So Elisah Spencer, I implore you, because I'm pretty sure there will be some way, shape, or form that you will see this. If you really want to become a professional wrestler and you want to live in that world, then you need to do this shit the right way. You are 24 years old. You are very much young enough to get into this business, pay your dues, and do everything the right way. And then you can live out your dream and make your own legacy, instead of trying to piggyback off of what you tend to believe is your family. The fact that you actually believe that you are a part of the NOI bloodline baffles me. And that's where the delusion comes from. Now, let's just take into account, let's hypothetically say that this is true. And this comes out that he is part of that family and that he is basically Roman Reigns' cousin. If this is true, then you did not make your family proud. This was disgraceful and very much disrespectful to the Anoa'i name. So my thing is, why in anyone's name would you think that this was the right thing to do at all? And the fact that you would, and this is why I say there's the delusion, because it's almost like he took from Rikishi's promo a long time ago when he ran over Stone Cold and he said, I did it for the people, I did it for The Rock. He literally took that same cadence, said the same thing, just like that. So this is why I think this is all a complete delusion, and I don't think any of this is true. Now, if it comes back and it shows that he is actually part of their family, then yeah, we'll have another discussion on that. But it's none of it is right, and it is all completely inexcusable. Now, this is another situation that comes into play, because now his reasoning for jumping on Seth Rollins is because he was duped. He was duped by a fake account. Now, that is also very telling. The fact that you are gullible enough to believe that, one, this person is Seth Rollins and messaging you through fucking WhatsApp and then asking you for money. You're telling me that this person doesn't have connections enough to sit here and then not get in contact? Like his Google account? Like, come on, man. Like you have to be smarter than that. But if this is the same person we're talking about, then yeah, again, more delusion. Gullible enough to believe that this person that he's talking to is actually Seth Rollins and needs his help. He believed from that point on that Seth Rollins, this Seth Rollins was his friend and that they were so cool. So then you take into account and you get prepared to go to this show and attack this person without even verifying that this was in fact Seth Rollins. That makes no sense. This is why I truly believe this is a mental health issue. Because everything that's taken into account with this whole situation, it's just the dots don't connect in terms of logic here. There's no reason that you would sit here and actually believe that this person, as busy as he is, you're telling me that this person, one of the top guys in WWE, if he lost said thing. Let's say he lost his cell phone or didn't get access to his Google account. There are plenty of people who are able to help this man. Why in God's name would he reach out to you for a few bucks? This guy is a multimillionaire. Think, just think. But to go back to living out your dream as a professional wrestler because you want to be a WWE superstar, this is not the way to do it. You, at this point, you are completely banned from this company in every fucking avenue. There is no way for you to go there unless you completely make some type of amends with the people in this company, let alone Seth Rollins. So I'm not here to bash you or make fun of you in any way, shape, or form. My thing is that I think you need to get some type of help in whatever way you can. And then I pray that you make the right decisions moving forward and do what's necessary to live out your dream. And then I do hope that you eventually become a WWE superstar. As long as you do what's necessary to get there, because you are very young and you can make it, honestly. So do yourself that favor and just help yourself, dude. Please, 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 please. Now, with that out of the way, NXT 2.0. I'm pretty sure I haven't done one of these in like, what, maybe like 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks I went without even doing the show because it was just too fucking unbearable to watch. Now, I am mad. I'm very mad at the show that I watched. I actually watched it this morning. I'm very mad at it because I feel that if you were going to start NXT 2.0, the way that this show had panned out was probably one of the better ways to start. I think if NXT 2.0 started off like this, the way that this show had gone, people would have been talking very differently about it because it pushed the narrative of the old school versus the new school. And with the way things were, I think if you would have told this story moving forward, it would have made the build for War Games that much better. And I think it would have been beneficial to this new iteration of NXT. And I don't think it would have been shat upon as much as it has been as of late. Now, there were still some bad things about the show that I did not care about, but at the end of the day, this show in itself was passable. It was passable. And I honestly wish that they would have done storytelling like this throughout the course of NXT 2.0 and not just for the buildup of War Games. Now, I also don't know if Trips had anything to do with it. Part of me doubts it, but if he did have something to do with it, then I could see that. Another thing, I don't know where the hell William Regal's been. I don't know if they just quietly push him to the side. I don't like that because I don't like. I think War Games is so synonymous with William Regal screaming War Games that it feels very much lackluster when you have other superstars come out and then they'll say it. It doesn't have that same impact, and I feel like they're trying to force that, especially when we had the whole Braun Breaker thing that came into play when he came out and said it. But regardless of the fact, let me go ahead and throw my opinions on this on this show, and hopefully we can come back and do some more of these because I hope that the storytelling continues like this and gets continuously better. But if it doesn't, it may be slim pickings on what I choose to review. But anyway, Tommaso Ciampa and Grayson Waller. Grayson Waller came out, cut a promo. Had no problem with the promo. It was good. I have a problem with his fucking attire. I hate his ring gear. I hate it so much. It's trash. But Tommaso comes out. They have a match. Good match. No problem. Again, the way that it's going, old school, new school. The way that they have been doing it, love it. Because it tells a story of the old guard and the new guard, and how you got the guys at the top who've been at the top, and now positions are being looked at to where it's like, oh, now these new guys are coming in trying to take my position. This would have made way more sense had this been what the breakout tournament was leading up to, but wasn't the case. But this is what we have now, so hopefully, again, it moves forward. Cameron Grimes. So with the situation that had happened last week with Duke Hudson in that horrible fucking in-ring poker match, you get him trimming his hair. Now, I will say this. Cameron Grimes cleaned up. Very nice. I think this is a fantastic look for him. And I think this almost revitalized the character for Cameron Grimes, in my opinion. I like this version of Cameron Grimes. I like this more serious Cameron Grimes. I love the promo that he cut. It was very impassioned. I don't know if he cried for real or those are fake tears. Either way, it all looked very genuine, and I love that. So I'm very much more interested in Cameron Grimes in this iteration to see where he goes, because I think that this could help propel him in the right direction rather than him just being a gimmick character. Now, the one thing that I do hate about this, because I love everything about this feud, except for this hair versus hair match. I hate the fact that this is a gimmick that, again, main roster glorified. It was cool back in the day because they made it make sense. This, I don't think anybody wins in losing their hair, because I think Duke Hudson's look is overall fantastic. I love it, and I love his character outside of the whole poker bullshit. Cameron Grimes, with him being cleaned up like this, keep him with this look and then see where this goes, because this in itself could be very beneficial for NXT 2.0 to have an even greater potential for main event status for Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes is already main event status, but this actually gives him that main event look. So, and I think with them talking about his hair in this promo and the beard and the symbolism behind it makes so much sense. He does not need to lose this match. And well, neither one of them need to lose, because neither one needs to lose their hair. But I think they need to have some type of thing that happens to where neither one of them lose their hair. But it is what it is. Casey Catanzaro, Caden Carter versus Indy Hartwell and Persia Parada. Didn't really care for this match. I don't like the direction that they're taking Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter. I think they were fine, just, not having this whole Ray gimmick. And I feel like they're going to be relegated to the back of the line. And I don't think that they're going to be pushed the way that they need to be pushed, because they should have already been NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, but they're not. So, yeah, and then Indy Hartwell and Persia Parada really not doing it for me. I think after the whole Indy Hartwell and Dexter Lumis stuff, now it's just kind of just getting diluted, and I'm starting to not care about it. Well, I think I'm past not caring about it. But regardless of the fact, they got to do something that's going to elevate this tag team and Indy in general. Santos Escobar and Malik Blade. Malik Blade is just a glorified jobber at this point. I mean, they may do something with him later, but I think with the way that he's going, unless they book him in something that's going to actually show that he's credible or a potential person for the future, he's going to have a slow death in NXT 2.0 to where he's just let go. Again, Santos and Legado del Fantasma looking strong again. I appreciate it. I appreciate the fact that this is the direction that they're taking him. Granted, he should have won the NXT North American Championship in that triple threat match with Swerve and oh, sorry, that was triple threat. He should have won the match against Swerve, and then you should have had Carmelo Hayes kind of have a feud with Santos after that. But again, it's not the direction they took. It is what it is. So hopefully they do right by Legado and Santos. So we'll see. Now after this, we had tag teams bicker because Von Wagner and Kyle O'Reilly came out and they started to cut a promo against Legado del Fantasma. But that was all for naught, because then the NXT Tag Team Champions came into play, Imperium. And again, they look fantastic as Tag Team Champions. I think they are being used correctly. And I don't think they need to lose these titles anytime soon, because I think there's more mileage you can get out of them as tag team champions, to the point to where this can feel like the NXT tag team division of old, because that's one of the few things that we still have at this point, because the women's division feels like main roster women's division, because I don't think they're getting the same treatment that they used to get. Well, I don't think, I know that for a fact, because when you look at the way that this War Games women's match is being built up, it's horrible. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and talk about that, because when you had Toxic Attraction come out, well, not come out, you had them arrive at the building, and you had just Dakota just pop up, and I don't know what the fuck is going on with Dakota. And I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I don't know if I'll ever love it, but I hate this whole thing about it. And that whole dynamic is just weird. Then you had the whole trash thing with Kylie Ray, where that just made no sense. I think if you would have showed her actually destroying shit and being unhinged, it would have been a lot better. But to have her just have the shit spread out, and yeah, trash. And then you have Mandy Rose and Cora Jade. Mandy Rose at this point is not somebody that I look at and I say, oh, that's the embodiment of an NXT Women's Champion, because it's all flash and zero substance. Because you can sit here and you can make this whole thing all pretty and aesthetically good, but at the end of the day, if she doesn't look well in the ring, it's gonna be all for naught. And this is why I stated a long time ago that if you're going to try to push Mandy Rose, get some matches under her belt. Allow her to get that repetition and just get these matches to the point to where she looks credible. But now that you've put this title on her, and it's almost like that hunger is going to slowly dissipate, and she's not going to feel like she needs to earn it. I mean, you look at Raquel Gonzalez when she was leading up to the point to where she was going to win that championship. When she was riding with Dakota, she looked like Dakota. Well, she was Dakota's heavy. But she got a chance to showcase herself up to the point to when you get to the War Games. And she just looked fantastic. And you couldn't deny her main event status. And I think you've done a disservice to Mandy Rose by allowing her to just get by on the bare minimum and then win the title. It just doesn't add up, and it doesn't create that same it doesn't create that same worthiness of the title that it did for the previous champions. And I think it dilutes the importance of this title, and that's a problem in itself. So hopefully, War Games shows us something, because I am very much afraid of this War Games match, because I just feel like it is not going to go well for those who are inexperienced, primarily Mandy Rose. So we'll see what happens with that. We get Ivy Now versus Alyssa Leon. A better match for Ivy Now than her previous one, or because I don't know if she had one in the past 2 weeks, but her initial match that she had. This was a better way to go. She looked fantastic. I love most of her offense. That clothesline off of the bottom rope, off of that step off the bottom rope, beautiful. The modified dragon sleeper, where she grabs her arm and behind her back, love it. I just think her overall aesthetic is nice. I think that she is definitely worthy of being pushed. So there's that. My only issue, and that has nothing to do with Ivy Now, but my only issue with this women's division is that it's really looking like it's Vince McMahon show, because he's pushing certain ones with certain looks, as opposed to how it used to be, where everything was earned off merit. It's like now, because you have Ivy Now, who has that female bodybuilder aesthetic, and then you have Mandy Rose and Toxic Attraction, where they're more focused on their assets, for lack of a better term. It's taking the women's division of NXT and it's diluting it to more of a Divas era NXT now. And that's going to become problematic with the fans of the previous iterations of NXT, because now you're taking steps back from the evolution of women's wrestling in WWE to the point to where you're going to undo everything that Sasha, Natalya, Becky, Bayley, Asuka, Charlotte, etc., all these women have done to get to this point to where they take women's wrestling serious. So now we're going to start seeing NXT more of how it was viewed back in the day. And I don't think that's a good idea at all, because you've basically taken what used to be the best women's division in wrestling and made it next to nothing. So hopefully it gets better. Also next to nothing, grizzled young vets. It's a shame. It is a damn shame what y'all have done to grizzled young vets, because they need to be at the top of the tag division. They are tag team elite, and they are being treated like fucking pompers. Do better with GYV, please. And they should have went over, and they didn't. Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen, nothing against them, but I don't see them as being a premier tag team just yet. I think you need to focus on pushing the top tag teams and having them go at it, and then have these newer tag teams come into play and just build themselves up the same way that all the old guard had built themselves up. You're fast tracking way too many people at this point to the point to where nothing's going to feel important. Nothing is going to feel earned. So just fucking do better, please. Main event, no issues, no problem whatsoever. I think this was fantastic. Carmelo in his first defense, I mean, it was obvious he was going to go over. I don't think Pete Dunne and Johnny were going to go over in any respective way. I think this match was mainly meant to set up feuds moving forward, as well as the War Games. And I think this was a fantastic build to War Games. I just wish this would have been spread out to the point to where you can kind of see where things going. Now, there was the surprise factor there. I will give them that, because I didn't see a lot of things happening as it did at the end. But I feel like this, again, is the direction that you should have taken from the very beginning, so that way you can do a full-on story leading up to War Games, to where you can say, okay, this all makes sense. I love the dynamic of how the new school kind of takes up after each other, because, again, this is how it should have been in the very beginning, instead of you guys just throwing all these new faces just ad nauseum. I think if you would have slowly built up everybody along the way and had them just kind of picking their spots, saying, you know what, I want this spot, I want this spot, I want to take on the champion, I want to be the top of the card, I want to be I want to be the face of NXT 2.0, then yeah, this would have made a lot more sense, and I would have been very much more appreciative of the way this had been going on if that was the case, and I wouldn't have to sit here and pick and choose whether or not I want to review NXT 2.0. I want to enjoy watching professional wrestling. I don't want to sit here and then be like, oh, well, I guess I could miss it. I want to feel like if I missed a week, I want to feel like, damn, I missed something. I want to have that must-see TV feel in terms of my professional wrestling, because that's what's going to get more people in a position to where they don't shit on NXT 2.0. They don't shit on the main roster. They don't shit on WWE as a whole. But that's my 2 cents on it. I'm pretty sure there's a few things I missed, but it doesn't really fucking matter. So, but like I always say, whether you loved it, hate it, don't forget to rate it, thumbs up, thumbs down, hit that notification bell for all your updates, notifications on freeze tag, quick tag, tag me in, hot tag, Jaeger After Dark Elevation, Scoot's monthly updates, vote with your wallet, just everything. Comment all your questions, concerns, opinions, whatever the case may be down below. But as always, you beautiful mother effers, tag, most importantly, mother effing subscribe. But as always, until you see this handsome face and hear this immaculate voice, I bid you all adieu. And as always, a mother effing tag.